Hey guys, what's going on? WhiteFox1225 here, and welcome to another Elder Scrolls Online Saturday. I'm sorry for the lack of videos this week. I was really sick. I couldn't even talk. You guys can probably still tell I'm not feeling 100%. My voice is still a little off, but it's good enough to finally actually get to record a video. I have played the beta. I started Friday night, probably played about 4 hours. And then today probably played from like 1 o'clock to like 11 o'clock with like no breaks except dinner. So I got to play a lot more of the beta. Hopefully you guys got to play the beta, as this is actually the final beta weekend, which is sad, but it also means that we're getting close to the actual launch of the game, which is super exciting. So yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying the beta, and I got to experience a lot more of PvP this weekend. I've literally pretty much only played PvP except for like 10 minutes in the PvE section of the game. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the PvP, and because I had like literally no lag issues except for like a 15-minute period, which it wasn't bad considering I played like 15 hours, it was really good, and the PvP was smooth, and I got to play a lot more of it and experience a lot more of it, and I'm kind of going to talk about that today, which brings me into the agenda. So first we're going to be doing, or I'm going to be talking about my beta impressions, even more so with new stuff, like talking about the new collision detection, the mounts, talking a little bit about emotes, stuff like that. Then we're going to be comparing Elder Scrolls Online to an like a traditional Elder Scrolls game, talking about the difference in similarities, especially with Elder Scrolls Online and Oblivion. Then we're going to be talking about the new Adventure Zone Craglorn and what an Adventure Zone actually is. Then we're going to go into the developer question of the week, and that should just wrap up the episode. So let's get started with the new beta impressions. So first off, let's start with collision detection. There is now collision detection in the game, and I have to say I really like it. I totally agree that it actually makes me feel like I'm fighting something. I actually got cornered by a boss when I think it was like Doshia, I want to say, in the Altmary Dominion quest line as part of the Fighters Guild. Yeah, but I actually got cornered by a boss, and it actually made me feel like I was fighting something. Normally in that situation I could have run through it, and that's just, I mean, that doesn't feel like an Elder Scrolls game. It makes you feel like you're actually walking around in the world a little bit more, and I definitely like it. There's more substance to the combat. So in PvP, I got to actually use mounts for the first time, because you can now buy an Imperial horse for like 1 gold, I want to say. Yeah, so really cheap, pretty much anyone can do it. And really you can tell because there's an army of white horses running around all the time. Anytime you see another player, he's pretty much on an Imperial mount. So that's kind of funny, and I'm sure that's how it's gonna be around launch weekend. But I liked the mounts. I liked riding from keep to keep on the mounts. It made going from keep to keep a lot less boring, and a lot less feeling like you were just walking for like 20 minutes. Even if it took like 10 minutes, riding the mount was, I want to say, kind of more fun. You could jump, you could sprint, things like that. I liked the way that you upgraded the mount. I liked how you could feed it 3 different things. You could increase its speed, stamina, how many hits it could take before you fell off, and also its carrying capacity. So I definitely like the mounts, and I definitely think a lot of people are going to be using the Imperial mount. Other than that, I played around with the emotes a lot. I worked out with some Altmary soldiers. I slept in a tent. I actually formed a band with other players. I came across this guy playing the flute, and I decided to start playing the lute. And then another guy walked up with a drum, and then people were coming up and clapping and whistling. It was really fun, and we were doing that in the starter zone to the Altmary PvP. And that's kind of what I like about the emotes. It really lets you do things in the world with either NPCs or other players. It really lets you kind of, I don't know, kind of exist in the world, because if I don't really feel like doing combat, I could, like I said, form a band in the starter zone to the PvP. I could, sleep in a tent. I could, eat meat and watch soldiers fight. I could sit on a countryside and just, write, or I don't even know if that's an emote, but I could just sit there and just do whatever I want. I think it helps you be able to just kind of be part of the world more, because you can do just kind of regular things, and it also helps with role playing, obviously, which is really cool. So I definitely liked using the emotes. Other than that, I got to try out the Imperial style armor. So you can just right click on any armor or weapon you have, and just hit transfer to Imperial style, and it'll do that. You can't transfer back though, just a quick warning. So I did that, and I actually really like the Imperial style. Right now I'm rocking a mix of Imperial and Khajiit armor, and I'm using all Imperial style weapons. Yeah, so definitely like the Imperial style, and I like how easy it is to switch armor styles once you have weapons. I got to defend keeps a lot more. For some reason, my first playthrough of the PvP, I didn't do much defending, but I did today, and I really thought it was really just great. I got to use some siege weapons on the keeps, firing at other siege weapons and other players. It was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. So just great experience, and we actually won the battle, and we were able to hold off the Ebonheart Pact, so it was really great. I really enjoyed defending. Other than that, I went off and tried to do some solo play, which I really enjoyed. I know in the past I said that I thought the PvP was more towards huge groups, but I really had a great time playing alone. So I did one of the scouting missions where I had to kind of sneak into enemy territory, go to the enemy farm, and then write a report about what I saw there. So I just kind of rode on my mount until I was deep into enemy territory, and then I got off and snuck to the farm. And then there were a few other players, and I snuck up on them and took them out one by one. And then I just kind of wrote the report. I stayed there for a little bit. Eventually, I was overrun, but it was a really great experience, and I really liked it. I think that it was really awesome to not have to play with a huge group and say, hey, I just want to go off and play alone for a little bit, and I was able to do that. And then after I died, I said, okay, time for a change. I'm going to go back and do this huge battle for this keep, and I was able to do that. And that's the variety that Cyrodiil really offers, and I think that's why this PvP is maybe the best PvP in any MMO that we've seen to date, and that's really just awesome. And that, huge thumbs up to the guys at ZeniMax for making such a great PvP. So I did do some questing in the PvP. I thought it was fun to quest in a PvP zone. If you are looking for questing, though, I definitely would recommend PvE. It's far superior. But I did do some quests, and they still had some detailed characters, some detailed background, and it was fun. I want to say that there's almost not enough quests in Cyrodiil for people who do like to quest in a PvP zone. They're kind of hard to find. You kind of have to go off the beaten path to find them. And it's not terrible, hard, but it's not easy either. That's not a huge abundance of quests to get. And they're pretty simple. Usually go here, deliver this. Nothing as intricate as the PvE. So if you do love questing in PvP, you might be a little disappointed. Other than that, we had some huge bug fixes. Lots of quests were fixed, and also in PvP, all the lag was fixed. I had a pretty seamless experience, like I said before. So huge thumbs up to the guys at ZeniMax for nailing that down. And that sort of brings me to my next topic, which is an article that ZeniMax posted, and it was full of information about the whole beta experience, all that. But the big news that I took away from that is that there's no difference in terms of lag or your connection in terms of if you're playing on the US or the EU server. So if I live in America, I could play on the Europe server and just have the same experience as if I was playing on the American server. So if you have a bunch of European buddies, go ahead and play with them because it does not matter. And that's really great, and it means we could just play together. So that's some really great news, especially for me because I didn't know which one I was playing on. I have part of my guild is European and part of it's American, and we were kind of split. But it's good to know that we won't have lag problems either way. Other than that, ZeniMax talked about how they're setting their servers up for launch. They're trying to beef them up for launch, and they have this thing called overflow servers. So if it turns out that they do get way too many players than what they can handle on their servers, they have these overflow servers where they'll put the people who are in queue to get into the real server. So you will be able to play, and your character will be transferred over when you do get into the real server. Unfortunately, you won't be able to play with anyone from the actual server, European or American. So that's how they're going to work. It would really suck to get put on one of those. The good thing is if you did pre-order and you do plan on getting in when the game actually launches, you should have no problem. But it is good. I mean, it is good that you can transfer your character. That is a good part of that system. And it's good to know that they're really trying to beef up their service for launch and make sure that the launch is as smooth as possible. Because smooth is definitely good when doing a launch. So other than that, they said in that article that the first update will be a new adventure zone called Craglorn. Now, I'm not sure whether this is the first monthly update, whether this will be all we'll get in that update, whether or not this will just be like a free patch. Not sure. They didn't really clarify. But we do know about Craglorn is we have a map, which I'll put on the screen. We got lots of dungeons in this zone. If the torch icon, every single torch icon is a dungeon. Now, that is a lot of dungeons, and it makes sense because it is a PvE zone. But really, it's great that we have lots of PvE content with this adventure zone. And that pretty much does it for everything we know about Craglorn. It is, like I said, an adventure zone, which is a huge PvE area, and that is really all we know about adventure zones. For something they've talked about so much, they've given us so little detail, which is a little annoying, but it isn't going to be in the game at launch. It's going to be post-launch content, so it kind of makes sense. So, moving on to the next topic, I want to talk about the Elder Scrolls Online versus a traditional Elder Scrolls game. So, I've been playing a lot of Oblivion lately, because I did play through like 300 hours of Skyrim. I really just squeezed that game dry. And I did start to play through Oblivion, but I never really had a complete playthrough. I never felt like I really completed the game. And that's not because I wasn't into the game. It's just that by the time I started playing Oblivion, Skyrim was already out. And by that time, whenever I went to play Oblivion, it was just like, why not play Skyrim instead? But I did dive into Oblivion, and I really do like it. I've been playing, I think I played like 30 hours in the last like week. And that's just on and off, you know, not like in one sitting. But I really have enjoyed it, so I was super pumped to play Elder Scrolls Online this weekend, but also really excited to play Oblivion. So I kind of went back and forth between the two this weekend. I played like Oblivion early on Friday, played Elder Scrolls Online Friday night, and then again woke up early this morning, played Oblivion, and then Elder Scrolls Online for the rest of the day. So I want to talk about sort of the major differences I noticed between the two, being played like back and forth, and how, you know, they differ from each other. So let's start with the big differences. The biggest difference I'd say by far is how the world is set up and how you interact with the world, and if you're actually part of the world. Now, in Oblivion, you feel like an intricate part of the world. You can buy houses. Every single item in the world pretty much you can pick up. When you sneak into a house at night, the guards come and arrest you. Things like that, it makes it feel like you're part of a living world. Now in ESO, there are a lot of cardboard items that are simply kind of painted into the world, not even first, let's take this as an example. There's a bag of apples. I can't go individually and pick up every single apple by hitting E like I probably would be able to in Oblivion. I just hit E and I loot whatever is in that bag of apples, which usually is just some sort of food, not even apples. Or sometimes it's even worse, where it's just you know, a rack of weapons and I can't even do anything with them, which is, they are trying to change, which is good. But that is what the biggest difference I would say is. Other than that, there's in Oblivion you discover quests. You actually have to walk around and talk to NPCs. Not to say you don't have to do that in Elder Scrolls Online, but every single quest giver is marked, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's just how they did that. Yeah, and basically you're just not as big as part of the world, and you're not really part of the world. And part of that is there's so many people in Tamriel in the Elder Scrolls Online. It's obviously not gonna, you know, focus around you. I just wish they could have captured that feeling in the Elder Scrolls Online. With that being said, there are some similar things. This kind of that feeling of there's so much content, you're overwhelmed. You know, you start on one quest and you find 5 more quest givers, then you're on a different quest and you play for 5 hours and you look back and the quest you started on you still haven't completed. Other than that, there's lots of good characters, but really just it's packed of content, and it has that sort of distractionary gameplay that we all know the Elder Scrolls for. Other than that, Oblivion and Elder Scrolls Online have a sort of similar main story. It's solo, it focuses on Daedric princes. The lore is obviously in the same world, which is similar. And all of them have really good background NPCs, really good characters, which is always part of an Elder Scrolls game. So, kind of in conclusion, I'd say that they're different, but ESO definitely has an Elder Scrolls feel. I would not call Elder Scrolls Online the Elder Scrolls 6, and it's really not meant to be. I think some people expected it to be, but Elder Scrolls Online, it's an MMO with an Elder Scrolls. It's a hybrid of the two. You can't really call it an Elder Scrolls game or an MMO. It really is a perfect mix between the two. And I really like it. I think they did a perfect job making a hybrid of those two things. Some people don't agree with me, and that's just, I mean, it's just an opinion. But I think it'd be hard to play the Elder Scrolls Online and not say that it definitely has an Elder Scrolls feel to it. So that's kind of my opinion on that, and let's get into the developer question of the week.
Hello, this is Clarice Jones. I'm a part of the customer support team here at the Elder Scrolls Online, and I'm here to present you with your question of the week. We know that early access and launch are just around the corner. We want to know from you how you're preparing and how you plan to spend your first hours in ESO.
Alright, so how am I preparing for ESO? So first of all, playing Oblivion. Even though Oblivion does take place after the Elder Scrolls Online, it's not really getting used to the lore or kind of getting back into the lore. I think it's kind of getting to the more Elder Scrolls mindset. I'm always like in the Elder Scrolls mood, always ready to play Elder Scrolls, but I think you kind of need the kind of questing mentality of just going out in the world. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get used to in Oblivion. Other than that, spending lots of time trying to organize my guild, talking to those guys. A bunch of great guys part of my guild, and I really love chatting with them. So doing that, and also just playing the Elder Scrolls Online beta like most of us are. It's a really great beta, and through playing, especially the PvP, you get an idea of how the combat is actually going to go down, and you can get a lot of practice in before the game actually comes out. Other than that, in terms of what I'm going to be doing in my first few hours on ESO, I'll be in Bleak Rock Isles, the Star Island for the Ebonheart Pact. I know a lot of people hated the Star Islands. I didn't really not like them. I wasn't like a huge supporter, and I really didn't care that they took them out, but I feel like maybe if I just jumped to the second zone that I'd usually be put in, I feel like the story might be a little messed up and I'll miss some of the background for my relationship with the characters in that zone. So just in case, I'm going to go to Bleak Rock Isles, get all the sky shots there, finish all the quests there, and just make sure I get as much Elder Scrolls Online that I can, just squeeze everything out. So definitely want to do Bleak Rock Isles. I'm also sort of a completionist when it comes to the Elder Scrolls games, finished everything in Skyrim, so I kind of want to do the same thing for Elder Scrolls Online, even though it will be taking a very long time to do so. So that's pretty much it for the episode, and thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we'll have a lot more content this week than we had this previous week. Mostly probably stuff on the Elder Scrolls Online, even though we will have a Payday 2 episode about the upcoming Election Day DLC. As always, if you're interested, I have a PvP role-playing guild called the Bearborn Clan for the Ebonheart Pact. We will be doing a lot of PvP, but also PvE, pretty much a little bit of everything. We have some pretty heavy crafters, some pretty heavy traders, really just a little bit of everything, but we do all love PvP. So we plan on doing that, and link in the description for that to the forums. If you are interested in joining, just introduce yourself and introduce the character you've made, and that's pretty much it for joining up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys liked the episode.